You know what, the mind is the ultimate weapon. If you let it betray you with procrastination, anxiety, or lack of motivation, you've already lost, even before you begin. Mastering your mind is the first step, and also the most important one, to mastering your life. I want you to think about this. How many times have you had an idea, a dream, but instead of taking action, you told yourself, I'll think about it tomorrow. 1 day, 2 days, then a whole year slips away. Have you ever felt that way? In those moments, it's not the world that stops you. It's your own mind betraying you. A philosopher I deeply admire once said, "Man is not defeated by adversity, he falls in the battle within his own mind." And that's truer than ever. In my work, I've met many people in midlife, some are entrepreneurs, others are ordinary parents. They tell me, my chances are gone. But when I ask further, they admit that what holds them back isn't the outside world, it's fear, doubt, and the quiet, weakening voice inside their head. Let me give you a simple example. Think of running a marathon. If you believe you can't finish, your body will give up quickly. But if you hold the belief I can push through, suddenly your body finds strength it didn't know it had. Neuroscience has proven that strong belief can literally change how the brain responds, it helps you endure more, and create more. And I know, life in your 30s, 40s, or 50s can be full of responsibilities, work, family, financial pressure. But this is when your mind most needs to be on your side. You can't let it trick you into thinking it's too late. I once knew a woman in her 50s, a single mother, who decided to open a small coffee shop. She started by saving every penny, learning how to manage a business, and step by step built her dream. 3 years later, I sat in that very cafe, sipping coffee. And in her eyes, I saw the look of someone who had won, not against the world, but against herself. You see, pain and challenges aren't enemies, they're the entry tickets to success. And your mind, if you can master it, will become your strongest ally. So ask yourself each day. Today, what will I do to stand on my own side? You know, one of the biggest mistakes we make is believing we still have plenty of time. In truth, time is the most precious currency we'll ever own. Once a day passes, no amount of money can buy it back. I once spoke with a man in his mid-50s who said, if only I had started 20 years earlier. Then he smiled and added, well, I'll start today. And he did. At age 56, he began writing his first book. 2 years later, it was published. That reminded me, it's never too late. Too late only happens when you stop believing and stop moving forward. The issue isn't age, it's whether you're still committed to your dream. I want you to imagine this, 5 years from now, who will you be if starting tomorrow, you take action every single day, even just one small step? And on the other hand, who will you become if you continue letting your mind lead you into procrastination, worry, and excuses? Which image makes you feel prouder? Science has also shown that people who intentionally set a clear vision and take consistent action, however small, are many times more likely to succeed than those who only wish without doing anything. Belief, planning, and action, that's the golden triangle that lifts you out of mediocrity. So remember this, the world out there can be harsh, but your real enemy isn't other people, it's an undisciplined mind. If you can turn your mind into an ally, you can change everything. Remember this. Life doesn't reward those who merely wish, it gives gifts only to those brave enough to take the first step. If you truly want something, peace of mind, a solid career, better health, or simply the joy of waking up with purpose, you must prove it through action. I once told one of my patients, if you can still sleep well while being poor, it means you've accepted living that way. He sat up immediately and decided to change his life starting the very next day. Change doesn't begin with a miracle, it begins with a decision, a single step, one honest hour of real effort. I want you to imagine this, each morning, you wake up, look in the mirror, and ask yourself, am I living the life I truly deserve? If the answer is not yet, then that very day is your chance to begin again. Not next year, not next month, today. There's a beautiful idea in Western philosophy. A hero isn't someone who never falls, but someone who rises every time they fall. That's you, if you allow your mind to become your ally. So when you finish this video, don't just nod and forget. I want you to act. Write down your goal, make a plan, and do one small thing today that moves you closer to the life you want. Because when you do, I believe not only you, but also those around you, your family, your children, your friends, will be inspired by your example. In the end, when you master your mind, you master your life. And that is the greatest gift you can ever give yourself. You know, we only get one life. And the saddest thing isn't death, it's leaving this world without ever truly having lived. I've seen so many people go to their graves carrying dreams they never pursued, ideas they never shared, songs they never sang. Don't let that happen to you. A philosopher once said, "The richest place on earth isn't the bank, it's the cemetery. Because it's filled with dreams that never came true." That quote still gives me chills. And I want you to remember this: as long as you're still breathing, you still have the chance to rewrite your story. Ask yourself, if today were my last day, would I be satisfied with how I've lived? If your answer is no, then let this be the moment you begin. Begin to live with courage. With a mind that stands on your side. And with the determination not to let tomorrow become a soulless copy of today. I'm not asking you to change the whole world. All I'm asking is that you change one small habit, one simple action, one belief in your heart, and do it every day. Because greatness doesn't come from one giant leap, but from thousands of small steps taken in the right direction. And if you ever doubt yourself, remember this. Even if the whole world stands against you, as long as your mind stands with you, you still have everything. And my dear friend, perhaps the most important message I want to leave with you today is this. You don't need to become someone else to begin changing your life. You only need to begin, as you are, right where you stand. Don't wait until everything is perfect, because perfection will never come. Don't wait until you have enough money, enough time, or enough luck. Because if your mind isn't trained, all those things will slip away meaninglessly. Start from your imperfections. Start even when you still feel uncertain or afraid. I want you to imagine this. One day, you look back on your life, and instead of regret, you smile and say, "I lived a meaningful life. I stood on my own side. I did not let my mind betray me." That is the greatest victory of all. You see, the world won't remember you for what you dreamed, but for what you did. And every step you take today is a gift. To yourself, to your family, and to the generations that will follow. So before you turn off this video, ask yourself once more. Tomorrow, what will I do, even something small, to move closer to the life I truly deserve? If you can truly answer that question and take action, then day by day, month by month, year by year, you will turn your dreams into reality. And when that happens, you'll understand. To master your mind is to hold the key to mastering your entire life. You know, every time I sit in front of the camera and speak to you like this, I don't see myself as a speaker or an expert. I'm just a human being, someone who has also felt fear, procrastination, and painful failure. And if there's one thing that makes me different, it's that I chose to stand on my own side instead of letting my mind drag me down. I truly believe you can do the same. Whether you're 28 or 58, whether you're at the peak of your career or still searching for yourself, the door to change is always open. You just have to knock on it through daily action. And I want you to remember this: you are not alone. Here, there's a community of people just like you, people learning to master their minds, to live a life that truly matters. Share your story, so you'll realize that each of us is walking the same journey in our own way. If what I've shared means something to you, keep it in your heart, and if you can, share it with someone else. Maybe a close friend, a coworker, or your own son or daughter. Because sometimes, one small reminder can change an entire life. And finally, I wish you enough courage to start, enough persistence to keep going, and enough faith to never give up. Because I believe, you deserve everything, as long as you stand on your own side. There's something interesting I've realized after years of working with hundreds of adults. All of us know what we need to do, but not everyone has the courage to actually do it. You, me, we're the same. We all have those mornings when we just want to stay in bed, those afternoons when we feel like giving up, those moments when we look in the mirror and ask ourselves, am I wasting my life? But you know what? The moment you say no to procrastination and yes to action, you've already begun to change. No one asks you to be perfect. You just need to take one step forward. I want you to imagine this. If every day you improve by just 1%, then a year from now, you'll be so different that even your current self won't recognize you. This isn't some distant philosophy, it's a scientifically proven truth. The power of small, consistent actions compounds into massive transformation. And one morning, you'll wake up, look around, and realize everything you once dreamed of is no longer just in your imagination, but standing right there before your eyes. When that day comes, you'll understand that you, and no one else, are the author of your own story. And that story will be worth being proud of, if only you begin today. You know, in the end, our lives aren't measured by how many years we live, but by how we live those years. You can live 80 years and leave no mark, or you can live 40 and make every single day shine with meaning. What determines the difference isn't time, it's attitude and choice. I often ask my audience this question. If today were your last day, would you feel happy with the life you've lived? Most people fall silent, because deep down, they know the answer is no. But the moment you realize that truth, that's the exact moment you gain the power to rewrite your story. The mind, as I've said from the beginning, is the ultimate weapon. It can imprison you in fear, anxiety, and procrastination. But it can also become the wings that lift you beyond what you once thought impossible. The only question is, will you let your mind stand with you, or against you? Now imagine this, 10 years from now, you're sitting in your own home, maybe it's a small house, maybe a modest apartment. But inside, you know that everything you have today came from the moment you chose to rise up, to begin, to believe, and to act. You won't need to boast. Your eyes, your smile, they'll speak for you. They'll tell the story of a life well lived. But if 10 years from now you're still in the same place, still complaining about dreams that never came true, then perhaps you'll feel a pain deeper than any hardship you ever tried to avoid. Because regret is the most persistent kind of pain. A philosopher once said, "No one bathes twice in the same river, because everything has changed, even ourselves. Each passing day, you are no longer who you were yesterday. You can become better, or worse, and that depends entirely on the choices you make today. So don't wait another moment. Let today be the day you decide. I will no longer let my mind betray me. I will stand on my own side." And remember, you don't need to take a giant leap, one small step forward is enough, as long as it's forward. Because in the end, success isn't about having everything at once. Success is about getting closer each day to the person you know you were meant to become. And you'll discover that the greatest reward of this journey isn't the house, the car, or the material things. The true reward is freedom of mind. The quiet confidence that you are living a life worth living. That's what I hope you carry with you when you leave this video. Live a life you'll be proud to tell about, and start right now. And maybe right now, you're sitting there, listening to me, still holding a little doubt inside. Can I really change? Am I strong enough to begin? Trust me, the answer is always yes. Because if you're still asking that question, it means there's still a part of you that hasn't given up. A part of you that still wants to rise, still wants to live fully. You know, we often think we need a major event to change our lives. But the truth is far simpler. Change begins with a tiny choice. A phone call you've been putting off. The first run after months of skipping workouts. A single piece of paper where you finally write your goals instead of just thinking about them. Just one small action, but it can be the beginning of a great journey. When this video ends, I want you to ask yourself one question. Tomorrow, what is one thing I will do to prove that I'm standing on my own side? Don't search for the perfect answer. Just be honest, and then act on it. Because in the end, the real power doesn't lie in what I say. It lies in what you do after the screen goes dark. And my hope is that when you leave, you carry not just inspiration, but a quiet, steady determination. A promise to yourself that you will never again let your mind betray you. Life is like a sunset over the Canadian sky, fleeting, yet breathtakingly beautiful if you know how to pause and truly look. We will all grow old someday, our hair will turn gray, and the days will pass faster than we expect. But what makes a life complete isn't how many years we live, it's how we live each moment. I don't wish for you to change the world after watching this video. I only hope you begin to change yourself, little by little. Have the courage to do what you've always dreamed of. Speak words of love to those you cherish. Forgive the old wounds so your heart can finally be light again. Because in the end, all the things we chase, money, fame, status, mean nothing if our minds are not truly free. A friend once told me, "Every morning, I ask myself, what will I do today so that tomorrow, I can be proud when I look back?" I want you to try living with that question. It's simple, yet it can lead you to a life full of meaning. So when you leave here, walk away with a new